To change the side of the studio and go to Emma James and see if a Media Watch. Good evening to you.
Good evening.
Now, serious matters. You've been looking at reactions online as France has been paying tribute to the police officer who was gunned down on the Champs-Élysées last Thursday, Xavier Jugelé.
Yes, as you might expect, a very sombre, emotional ceremony today held in Paris in memory of Xavier Jugelé. And looking online on social media, there is one person in particular who has garnered all of the attention, quite rightly so. The words of Xavier Jugelé's partner, Etienne Cardilez, really became the focal point of this ceremony. Lots of people tweeting about it today. Magnificent and profoundly moving, says this Twitter user. Another one talking about the painful tribute that he paid. And in that photograph, you can really see the pain etched on his face. It is hard to imagine how, just a few days after the death of his partner, he was able to actually make that speech in front of so many people, knowing that the world's television cameras were turned on him. It is indescribable, really, what he went through. Despite his pain, though, he said to the supposed terrorist who robbed him of the love of his life, that you will not have my hate. Now, if that phrase sounds familiar, it's because he was quoting the words of Antoine Léris, a gentleman who lost his wife in the attack on the Bataclan, November the 13th, of course, 2015, here in Paris. He used those words. Initially, he wrote a Facebook post which was shared 250,000 times and would have been seen by so many more people than just that. Then the BBC recorded him actually reading those words aloud. 74 million people watched that video. And what Etienne Cardilez spoke of today is the fact that he reread those words. It became a book eventually. He wrote a short memoir and his experiences of trying to cope in the wake of his death. And Etienne Cardilez spoke about the fact that he reread that book just a few months ago, of course, not knowing then that the words were going to have such an impact and a tragic relevance for him just a few months later. Now, if you want to see the whole of the speech by Etienne Cardilez, it has been put on YouTube by France 24, along with an English translation, if your French isn't up to understanding the whole thing. And it is worth having a listen to. It really is. It's quite hard to listen to, and certainly a lot of people on social media today talking about watching it through the tears in their eyes. Now, the Paris mayor, Anne Hidalgo, tweeted several things about this ceremony, but including this. He gave his life to defend our town, where everyone has the possibility to discover and become what they are. And that really is a nod to the fact that Xavier Jugelé was a campaigner for gay rights, an openly gay man in a civil partnership. Sadly, though, here in France, clearly there is a lot more work to do, because we've learnt this evening that the Interior Minister has actually is seeking prosecutions against people who've targeted the slain policeman on social media. I've seen some of the tweets that are included in this, and they are really, really hateful. I'm not about to show them now. I'm not going to give them that kind of publicity. What I will say is that we at France 24 hope they will be punished to the full extent of the law.
I personally back what you've just said. It's a disgrace that people are behaving in such a way, and if only they had the dignity of Etienne Cardilez he showed today when we sat and watched him make that speech at the National Tribute, a man of great dignity, a man of great strength, and damn the eyes of the people who said those horrible things online. That's all I can say. My thoughts. Now, this isn't the only the controversy you've been speaking about. It's not the only one to emerge from today's ceremony, is it?
No, it's not. And unsurprisingly, given that we are heading into the final stretch before the second round of the presidential election, there are some accusations that this event was politicised. François Hollande, the outgoing president, gave his speech at the ceremony. Amongst the comments that he made, this one's been treated by the French government: gendarmes and police officers, you are the ramparts of democracy. You play a crucial role in civil peacekeeping and maintaining public order. But what he went on to say, which is what's caused the controversy, it was a very clear message to those presidential candidates who were present, Marine Le Pen and Emmanuel Macron, that France's future government must provide the necessary budget resources to recruit the indispensable people to protect our citizens and give them means to act even more efficiently. Some people very unhappy because they blame François Hollande for some of these situations. This gentleman saying that Xavier Jugelé should never have died. We're waiting stupidly for the next attack, he asks. Hollande and Macron, he puts them in the same basket, have no solutions, and he calls them killers. Looking elsewhere at this, another person tweeting with the hashtag Jamais Macron, which has been trending all day. And they say, Mr. Macron, know that we refuse to become used to terrorism. It's something that Emmanuel Macron's been criticised for many times, the fact that he has said it is something that people have to get used to. Now, I should point out there is also a Sortons Le Pen out hashtag doing the rounds. It's not just Emmanuel Macron receiving criticism online. This image, a particularly scary one with her as some sort of a Silence of the Lambs character. So a lot of campaigning going on online on social media. And
that is set to continue. Emma, we need to leave it there. Thank you very much indeed. Emma James with Media Watch. And thanks to Delano for the business. Great to see you, sir.